So here's a short video product review. First, this laptop's actually quite old. I don't know, 5-6 years old, maybe more. It is a Lenovo Flex. It's one of those fancy ones that goes, you know, into a tablet mode. It has a touch screen. It does all that fancy stuff. But actually, the first one I bought got stolen on a flight to France. This particular one has had all kinds of issues. Since owning it, I have replaced the screen because I dropped it. I found the screen from somewhere in China for $100, so it was worth fixing. I've replaced the battery. I've replaced the hard drive. I had to replace the Wi-Fi controller on it because it just stopped working. And what else? Oh, the keyboard stopped working. That was a nightmare to fix. And unfortunately, I didn't record any of this stuff like a knucklehead. I don't know why, but I didn't. This is going to work until it doesn't work anymore. The biggest problem I had with it recently was it started shutting down because it was overheating. It got really hot. Now, it's always gotten really hot to the point where I could never put this on my lap. I mean, you talk about chestnuts roasting on an open fire. You cannot keep this thing on your lap, so I always had something underneath it. And more recently, it got so hot that it would just shut down. So anyway, I had to come up with a solution. I found that the heatsink and the fan had a problem. The fan started making noise. The heatsink needed to be replaced, so I wound up putting new, thermal paste on. I found the only heatsink that I could find anywhere on eBay. It was $17, and I'll put a picture of it up here somewhere. And it worked. I got another however many weeks, months, years out of it. But I still had the problem where I just couldn't put it on my lap. I was getting very frustrated, so I went on to Amazon, and that's where the Kai bin comes into play. No idea how you would say that, but it is K-E-I capital B-N, Kaibin, I don't know. Anyway, it was $12, and the promise of it was it had 2 fans inside it, as you can see through the mesh in there, and it has a USB port where you plug this into the USB port. It doesn't matter which one you plug it into, and it has a fan controller right here. I'm sorry things are upside down, but the camera's hanging from the cabinet above. And it does work. However, it does have its problems. Let me move this out of the way for a minute. I'll get back to this in a second. The only thing it comes with is this cable. Double USB port. You never want to ever take one of these things and plug it from one computer to another computer. Otherwise, you're going to have a very, very, very bad day. So you plug it in here, you plug it into power, and boom, look at that. Fancy, turns on. It's got these blue lights in there, which are actually too bright for nighttime. I'm probably going to wind up disabling those, But anyway, it has this little potentiometer here, makes them go faster and slower. And overall, it actually does work. It actually works fairly well. However, there's a couple of caveats. It blows air. You can feel it blowing air. But if you put it on a flat surface like this, the air stops or goes down considerably, probably 90%, because it has to suck air from the bottom. So for that, you have to lift it. If you lift it like this, it gives you all these different spots, kind of like a lounge chair, where you can put it in different areas. I keep it on the slowest area. If you do that, now sometimes that's not practical, and I have to just live with it flat. But it's still better than getting scalded from that laptop. Now there are some issues with it though. If you have it flat like this or not, and you pick it up, and you pick it up by putting your hands anywhere around here on either side, listen to what happens. This plastic is so weak that if you push on it, it squeezes the fan. I mean, there is zero tolerance here. I'm barely touching it. Same here. So that is a problem. So you have to remember to hold it like this. It has these little flip up guys here, which are good because it stops the laptop from sliding off of it. Otherwise, there'd be no way for the laptop to stay on there. It's got this, I don't know if you can see that pattern in there. It looks like a wolf or something. Maybe this means wolf in some other language. I have no idea. But if we put the laptop on there, it's actually a surprisingly good fit. I mean, other than the corners, it fits great. And I have to tell you that it cuts the heat down on my lap by probably 90% when it's flat like this. If I hold it up like this and put the kickstand up a little bit, it's even more. It almost completely eliminates the heat on my lap. So, you know, what's the verdict on this product? I think for $12, I think it's a great option if you have a laptop that's getting hot. By the way, if you have a laptop that's just getting hot, sometimes all you need to do is replace the thermal paste. It just dries up and stops working. And that's probably all this laptop would have needed had it not been for the fact that the fan started getting very noisy. But right now it works great. But if you just have a laptop that's just getting hot, as many of these little ones do these days, especially the thinner they are this way, the hotter they get. So this is a good option for you. They come in all different sizes. I don't know if this company makes them in all different sizes. But anyway, I have this actually hooked into the other, to another USB port here. Let me just put it on, plug it into the laptop. Oh, the first one I had to send back. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Now here's my USB port. I had to send it back because this particular, by the way, you can plug it in either USB port, it doesn't matter, it still works. And then you can use the USB port for whatever else. However, if you have a USB 3 port, it will be downgraded to a USB 2 port if you use it here. So don't use this for any kind of file transfer or anything. The first one I had to send back because just by moving this a little bit, the fan would cut on and off, on and off, on and off. And obviously I didn't want to have a brand new device that was doing that, so I sent it back and I got another one and this one's fine. So, you know, quality control, who knows. But if I turn the old laptop on now, it does come on with the laptop. Now that's going to be a feature of your laptop, not of the device. Some of these USB ports on laptops are powered all the time. Some of them are only powered on when the laptop's turned on. In my case, this port is powered on when the laptop is turned on. So it actually works out great for this particular device. But there it is, blue lights and all. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon because, first of all, the first one was defective, and second of all, this is just not okay. It's just not. But I give it 4 stars for a simple reason. Hey, you know what? It does exactly what it's supposed to do. You know, is there a better one out there that's made out of titanium that doesn't flex like that? Probably, but I don't care. You know, this is called the Lenovo Flex. Oops, this is called the Lenovo Flex. This thing flexes quite a bit, so they're a match made in heaven. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. We'll be back soon with some more product reviews.